Hello, welcome back to Web System Network, and in this video we are continuing with our C++ tutorial. And well, today I'll be talking about output, input, and variables. Well, not to forget, this is C++ programming language, and just to clarify that anyway, output, what is an output? Well, we already defined it, and output is data that is generated and displayed by the program or on the screen. That is an output. Whatever I'm showing you right now is an output of a program that is what that I've already used to display something for you to see. Now, while input is data that the program receives. Now, if I give just like we mentioned in our previous tutorial, to say that um, if you are designing a payroll program, you receive an input from the user on the amount of days that he or she has worked, so that we can calculate and give her or him the amount of money that he has worked for the day. And then we also talk about, before understanding that, we should understand what a computer does. Now, program computer program typically, they receive input. They perform most these three things that I've listed over here. Number one, what program does is that a program, it receive an input, perhaps a computer receive an input, do some process on it, which and then display the output to the screen so that we can see. That is the work that computer does. Not only, it's not limited to that, by the way, but what the most general things that computer does is to receive an input. Some process is performed on the input which is being received, and then from the input which is being received, after the process has been done, it output whatever you want on the screen, or in whatever method you choose to output it on. And then let's say we are, just like I mentioned, calculating a payroll program or pay calculation. This is an input, this is a process, and this is output. And we say that a computer, these are the procedure that computer follows. It perform an input, it receive an input, do some process on it, and then output it on the screen. Let's say the user enters hourly pay rate, the hours that he has worked, and then the hourly pay rate. Let's say he enter, how many hours did I work? I worked 10 hours. And then how the amount of money that I'm being paid. Let's say I'm being paid $2 per hours. Okay, I think that's cool enough. $2, small amount, but well, that is the only thing I can think of. And then this is the process that will be done for us to give him the amount that he's supposed to receive. We multiply the hours work, which is days, by the hourly pay rate, which is days, and then we display the gross pay to the user. Now that is what a program does. It receives an input, process the data, and then output the different data to the user, and then displaying screen output. Well, the most fundamental thing a computer does is, or a program does, is to display a message to the computer screen. And in the next tutorial, we are going to be using a statement called cout to display a message to the screen. Remember, we are dealing with C++ software development, and cout is one of the built-in function or method that we'll be using when developing our program, perhaps a console application. Let's say, for example, cout hello world. It means we are displaying hello world to the screen. That's what we just did. And then we talk about variables and input. How are they related? Sometimes a program needs to store data in the memory. Why? So that it can perform some operation on it. And in an instance such as this, a variable is required. Now, a variable is a container that holds data for manipulation or for later use. For example, a program that calculates a sales task on a purchase might have a variable called tax. or text to hold the value. Going back to our previous what we mentioned previously, we can have a variable called hours to hold the hours that the person has worked, and we can have a variable called hourly pay rate, the pay rate, to have the pay rate that the user that is being paid. And then we can have a variable called gross pay that will be holding the total amount of what the user has worked. And so that is the function of a variable, holding information so that we can perform calculation on them. And then let's see how a variable works. Let's take for instance that your boss wants a program that should allow the user to display their age on the screen. How does variable work in regard to instance such as this? Maybe we should find out. Well, I'm using a Dev C++ 5 version 5.11, which is 11, and when you download it and install it, it will give you a screen such as this. When you press Ctrl and just hold on Ctrl and then press N on the keyboard, if you hold on that, this is what it will give you is a screen such as this. Now don't worry about whatever I'm going to write, you just write it and see what we did right now. So hashtag include IOStream using namespace. Okay, I think I don't know how to type anymore, but using namespace std. Please take note of the column, the semicolon that I've just put it, and then int main. I'll just leave that as here, and then the braces, don't forget that. And then what did our boss said? We want to print out a program that will do what? That will allow the user to enter their age, and then we display it on the screen. What do we do? Just follow it, and then we can talk about it later on. Int age. Now this is a variable that I just displayed, age, and then the column, and then let's say cout, enter your age, and then we might as well end that line. Don't worry about whatever I'm writing, you will get a clear understanding of it later on. And then in age colon, and then cout again, your age is age. Okay, that sounds boring, but sound like kind of complicated, but it's just simple as this. Don't worry about it. And then we're gonna return 0. Right. Now what our program says, we declare a variable that will be holding an integer because the person will be entering an age. An age is an integer, and then we tell the person to enter their age. We store those age on the variable, and then we print out their age on the screen. Now we will return 0, meaning that our program has worked nicely. And then let's run it. Where can I save it? Let me just save it as a variable, and then let's save that. And then it will give you a screen. This is what it shows. Enter your age. My age is 20. Let's just use that word. Okay, that's not my age, but I'm using that. And then you press enter, it displays your age is 20. That is what our program has done. We just built a perfect program right now. We have done it. Our program wants to take an age and then display the age that the person entered. We have done it. Now this one here, hashtag include IOStream, meaning that we'll be using this method on it. Input, output, stream, using namespace std. This is a library anyway. And then int main. This is where our program start reading. And so thank you very much. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment if there is any question below, any question that you have or that might be going on in your mind, and then I will be able to respond to you. And don't forget to, if you're interested in our courses, our programming courses, we do offer that, and we can help you. We have professionals that can help you in that. Thank you very much. See you later.